And we will have 3 of these 5 crews moving forward. Opportunity to mention briefly that in the souvenir tent, you may buy a DVD of an individual race that is being run today. These race videos are only $15, and they're wonderful keepsakes for the crews families. It's available in that merchandise tent. The race, when it is finished, about an hour later, that DVD will be available in the merchandise tent here at the San Diego Crew Classic 2011 edition. For event number 8, the women check that the men's collegiate varsity second heat. The crews are at the stake boats. We're looking at Stanford, Northeastern University, University of California, San Diego, Temple out of Philadelphia, and Jacksonville University. From your screen view, it is Jacksonville on the near side. Temple in 4, University of California, San Diego in 3, Northeastern in 2, and Stanford, from the camera's perspective, farthest away, closest to the shoreline. That is Stanford. As our crews rest easy, set to go on the second heat of the Copley Cup. And they're away. Looks like Northeastern got a good start out of lane number 2. Stanford picked up the stroke and is right on it. Then you have University of California, San Diego. That is Temple in lane number 4, also in 4th position. And Jacksonville fading out of our picture in the 5th spot. Looks like Stanford has grabbed out onto the lead here. They're being closely shadowed now by Northeastern. Looking closely for the bow marker. Charles, help me out. Is that lane 1, Stanford in the lead?
Yes, it is. We have Stanford in the lead, Northeastern in 2nd, UC San Diego in 3rd, out on the far right side, Jacksonville in 4th, and Temple trailing just a tad in lane number 4 at the moment. They're in 5th position.
Farthest from the camera view is Stanford University, and they are beginning to even open up some water.
Yep, as they come down, Stanford is stamping their control on the race in the first 500. They've been closely shadowed by Northeastern, but the other 3 crews, UC San Diego, Temple, and Jacksonville, look to be biding their time, although Jacksonville are staying in contact with Northeastern, even though there's a separation of 2 lanes between them.
As we've mentioned several times before, 3 will move forward to the grand final. This is the second of 2 heats in the featured Copley Cup at the 2011 San Diego Crew Classic on Mission Bay, with overcast skies and winds beginning to slightly pick up once again.
In lane 1, Stanford have beaten UC Davis and Santa Clara so far this year. Northeastern, coming from Boston, they haven't had a competitive hit out this year that I've seen. UCSD have beaten Gonzaga here on home water on Mission Bay. And Temple and Jacksonville, they've done a lot of racing, some of it multi-lane, some of it duels. Temple have beaten Jacksonville, but been beaten by Jacksonville. They've raced each other twice so far this year. This will be their 3rd competitive contest. Temple have also beaten Delaware, Marist, LaSalle, Franklin and Marshall, Philadelphia, and Old Dominion, but Temple have also gone down to Virginia as well as Jacksonville. Jacksonville, well, they've beaten Temple and lost to Temple. Jacksonville have beaten Delaware, Marist, LaSalle, St. Joseph's, Washington College, Columbia Lightweights, and Philadelphia, but they've also gone down to Virginia and Columbia.
Stanford on the near side shore lane number 1. Look like they're kind of running away and hiding at the moment. They're on a substantial lead. Top 3 will be moving forward out in lane 4. Temple University has jumped into the situation. Then the Northeastern in lane 2, followed by the University of California, Davis, and all the way outside to Jacksonville.
This looks like it's going to be a very exciting race for the second and third qualifying spots for the grand final, because after Stanford, the other 4 crews are all really tightly in touch with each other.
Jacksonville has begun to move up on the outside, challenging Temple.
Alan, it looks as though UC San Diego are starting to move on Northeastern, and Northeastern are trying to press the accelerator, but I'm not sure that it's happening at this stage.
Northeastern has faded just a little bit as they're being challenged by the University of California, San Diego, but on the far outside, it is Jacksonville and Temple beginning to make a move.
Jacksonville and Temple have had, as I've said, this early season racing under their belts. That really competitive start to the year may stand them in good stead as things get down to the business end of this race.
Race beginning to shape up for that second position in lane 4, Temple, in lane 5, Jacksonville.
But look at UC San Diego. They've really had a strong third 500, and they're really coming into the mix with Temple and Jacksonville.
Northeastern off on an early lead. Seemed to have been spent through the first part of this race, as on the lead is along the shoreline. This is Stanford University. Then we're going to go outside to Temple, Jacksonville, and the University of California, San Diego, with Northeastern now trailing.
This is going to be a great finish, Alan. There's nothing covering these 3 crews duking it out for the second and third places in the grand final.
Stanford University on the shore with a commanding lead. In the center, Temple University in lane number 4, fighting off on their shore side, University of California, San Diego, and Jacksonville on the outside. It looks like it is the University of Temple University, then University of California, San Diego, and Jacksonville. On the shoreline, it is Stanford University. Looks like they'll pick up the victory easily. Temple is the near side crew. They are fighting off University of California, San Diego. Gets down to the very final strokes. It looks like Temple may have held them off, but San Diego's University of California, San Diego appears to have jumped into that third and final qualifying position, followed by Jacksonville and Northeastern University. Once again, the unofficial order of finish. Stanford University led almost wire to wire on this one and had open water lead at the finish. Then Temple University battling it out with the University of California, San Diego, and Temple appears to have held on to that second spot. University of California, San Diego in the third qualifying spot, followed by Jacksonville and Northeastern University. Next up, the first of 2 heats in one of our 3 featured races and categories here, the Jessup Whittier Cup. It is the Women's Collegiate Varsity Invitational, and we have 2 heats that will be stepping off here shortly.
We have some results from event number 6, the Women's Cal Cup Heat C. First Tulsa, second Alabama, third Bates, fourth Southern Methodist, and fifth British Columbia. And the first heat of the Copley Cup, first Cal, second Oregon State, third Michigan, fourth Bucknell. So Michigan just squeezed into that third qualifying spot over Bucknell in the Copley Cup heat number 1.
Mention once again our scoreboard down in the northern part of the vendors area. Also would like to invite you to stop by our vendors area